叫维尼仲菲菲，我白天的工作是艺人，晚上的工作是学生。
Hello， 大家好，我是仲菲菲，我是一个中非混血儿，我的妈妈是中国东北人，而我爸爸是刚果布人。
Hi everyone, it's Adeola. Welcome to my channel. Zhong Feifei, also known as Winnie, is China's first Afro-Chinese model to feature on Vogue China's cover story. Today, I will give you a glimpse into her life story. Winnie was born on May 12, 1996 in Guangzhou, China, to her Chinese mother and Congolese father. It was the same city where her parents met and fell in love with each other back when her dad was a graduate student and her mom was doing business. Early in her childhood, Winnie and her parents moved to Brazzaville in the Republic of Congo. But when Winnie's father passed away when she was a toddler, she moved back to China to live with her grandparents until she was 15. Her grandparents renamed her Zhong Feifei. Growing up in China, Winnie struggled with feeling like she wasn't Chinese enough. During her time in private school there, she had to deal with discriminatory comments from adults and peers, in addition to being stared at a lot. One time, a Shanghai school teacher told Winnie's entire class that she spoke Mandarin well for a foreigner. Winnie told CNN, "I was so confused because how come I'm the foreigner?" Kids would make racist comments about her curly hair and darker skin as well. Once in 4th grade, Winnie decided to straight perm her hair because that was the first time she really felt people treating her like a foreigner. She hoped that by having the same hair type as her classmates, it would make them stop alienating her and treat her as an equal. This led to years of Winnie doing everything she could to make her hair straight, consistently relaxing her hair from age 12 to 17, until a perm gone wrong changed her perspective. Left with extremely damaged hair in some state between curly and straight, Winnie was furious and asked herself for what reason has she gone through all of this pain. Realizing as a high schooler that she didn't even know what her real hair looked like, that was her epiphany. She concluded that her efforts to fit in had been absurd, and in freshman year of college, she did the big chop, cutting off all of her hair and letting it grow out in its naturally curly texture. At age 15, Winnie moved to the Democratic Republic of Congo to finish school. This came with its own struggle. She told Teen Vogue, "Spending my childhood in China made me the typical Chinese kid, and moving back to Congo at 15, I had a huge teenage identity crisis because the environment was constantly telling me that I wasn't black enough." But she eventually learned to find a happy medium between the two cultures. She liked the family values from her Chinese side, and from her Congolese side, she loved the food, music, and arts, especially the use of color in life. In 2014, Winnie went to college in the United States, earning a bachelor's degree in international relations from Boston University, and pursuing a master's degree in counterterrorism and international security at Johns Hopkins University. She said 2 particular experiences in Africa motivated her to pursue this education path. First, living in Congo as a high schooler exposed Winnie to all the children living in war every day, who also became orphans because of it. This motivated her and her model UN friends to set up a charity for orphanages in Congo and spend weekends with them to help. Second, one time she and her friends went to visit a mall they frequented, only to find a once bustling building in ruins and the ground exploded. The mall had been blown up due to an act of terrorism. For a 17-year-old me, it was shocking because for the first time, I realized we can be so small in the place of war, so helpless, Winnie said. From that moment on, she decided to study international relations as she wanted to use her power to make a little contribution to world peace. During her time in college, Winnie posted beauty and fashion vlogs on Chinese social media platform Weibo out of boredom, amassing about 8,000 followers. One day during Christmas break, right after she'd finished her exams, Winnie got 10 calls from her cousin. She eventually picked up the phone, and her cousin asked her if she knew about a program called Produce China, as a producer from the show had called and asked if Winnie wanted to come in and audition. The cast and crew of the singing competition show found Winnie through a friend who had made it to the audition finals from the online beauty videos they made together in the past. Produce China, also known as Produce Camp Chuang, is a survival reality TV show under the South Korean entertainment franchise Produce 101, owned by Mnet's CJ E&M. In the Korean version of the show, 101 K-pop trainees from different entertainment agencies compete to debut in a temporary music group known as a project group made up of the 11 final contestants. This show has produced many popular K-pop soloists such as Chungha and Somi of IOI, and K-pop group members such as Wonyoung of IVE who debuted in IZ*ONE. In the season they wanted Winnie to join, Produce Camp 2020, 101 students would train and compete through missions and battles, and the final 7 contestants would debut to form a C-pop girl group. Winnie had seen the last 2 seasons of the show, but never expected to be on the same stage as those girls. Since she was already planning to go home for Chinese New Year, Winnie accepted the scout invite and rushed to book her plane ticket to Beijing. With only a week before the final audition, she practiced at home for 4 days straight, preparing the 3 performance numbers they wanted to see. Although she was passionate about music and arts, Winnie never had any singing or dance training prior to this, and never thought she'd be in the industry. But singing was in her genes. Her mother had studied Western opera at a conservatory in China and would play greats like Mariah Carey around the house when she was younger. When Winnie went to the final audition, the director said she was in on the spot. She then took the spring semester off from Johns Hopkins to join Chuang 2020. With her teammates, she trained for a month before the show, practicing 12 hours a day. When the list of Produce Camp contestants was made public, Winnie made headlines under her Chinese name Feifei, as she was the first African to ever compete on the show. She became a trending topic on Weibo, leading to many Chinese netizens leaving racist comments under her photos. People called her the N-word, saying African people were ugly and had a low IQ. Some even told her to go back to Africa. When one commenter wrote, "When mixed people claim they're Yan and Huang descendants or dragon descendants, I wonder if our ancestors won't get mad in their graves." Insinuating was an insult for Feifei to be called Han Chinese, Feifei didn't stay silent. "If you don't know, go to hell and ask them yourself. I am a living person who can't answer questions destined for the dead." Her response ended up trending in the top 10 Weibo hashtags, seen by more than 20 million people. Netizens applauded her, saying it was a majestic answer and she was a tough girl. As more racism and xenophobia poured her way, Feifei also had many Chinese netizens coming to her defense. "When it's a Chinese-African mix, you guys speak out. When it's a Chinese-European mix, you guys don't dare utter a word. In the end, you guys are afraid of going against white people. You only go bully black people whose status is already low." More showed support, saying, "It's outrageous that there is such racism. You're so beautiful, sister. Don't worry about them. These comments are disgusting. Practice well, sister. I'll vote for you." And vote they did. Feifei had fans outside of China as well, from places like the United States, Zambia, Brazil, Vietnam, and more, rooting and voting for her. When Feifei and her teammates first performed on the show, their performance went viral and they were introduced as the strongest vocal group on there.
大家好，我是头发最卷的仲菲菲，来自弹幕文化，我在海外留学11年。
Out of the 101 participants, Feifei made it to the 27th spot before she was eliminated, gaining over 1 million Weibo followers and an international fan base in the process. Feifei didn't see most of the commotion until she left the show, as contestants weren't allowed phone or social media access during the airing of Produce Camp. When Feifei finally reconnected with the internet, she saw over 200,000 messages waiting for her on her phone. She wasn't surprised by the pushback, as she'd grown up with it and would get these type of comments when she was a vlogger. But she was shocked that it trended on Weibo and Twitter. She thought no one would care about what she experienced, as she was used to dealing with it on her own. When she saw the support, Feifei said, "I felt very blessed, and it drives me more because instead of people in China being silent about it, they are messaging me and being vocal about supporting me. For the first time in my life, I feel like I don't have to put everything on myself, but instead I have people, regardless if they are a fan of mine, willing to support me and grow together to push for more diversity for everyone in the society." Later that same year, Feifei released her self-written debut single Burn, an experimental hip-hop song inspired by counterterrorism and modern warfare. Since then, Feifei has worked as a model and influencer with brands such as Fenty Beauty, Louis Vuitton, and Cartier. Last year, she became the first Blasian to feature in a Vogue China cover story for their September issue. This was the first issue under Vogue China's new editor, Margaret Zhang, who is currently the youngest editor-in-chief at Vogue. The theme she chose for the cover story was New Beginnings, as she hopes to show more individuality and relatability in this new era and strategic shift for Vogue China, with them spending several months scouting for new faces of diverse backgrounds, ages, sizes, and stories, according to Condé Nast.
Good morning, Vogue. I'm Winnie. Today, I'm taking you with me to Shanghai Fashion Week.
Feifei's career as a Shanghai-based model continues to blossom as she walked her first Fashion Week runway show last year. This year, Feifei featured in Vogue China's body-inclusive cover story, Every Body. Most recently, for their October issue, Feifei planned and modeled for the first ever Vogue shoot done in Congo, with a full Congolese team of designers and more working on the editorial shoot. Feifei hopes to continue pushing for diversity in the industry and inspiring others to chase their dreams in spaces they are usually not seen. This is just the beginning for her. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon.